This is the next of our videos in the series about having better conversations, and I'm talking today to Simon Mitchell, who heads up our wills, estates and tax planning team. Simon, we're talking today particularly about the kinds of conversations and planning which people need to do as they approach later life. So from a wills perspective, what particular aspects should people be thinking about, and what conversations should they be having?
Well, the most important thing is to make sure that you have that conversation in the first place. A lot of clients like to put off making a will because it's something that we all don't want to think about. But it is one of the most important documents that you will ever draw up, and is a perfect opportunity to plan for the future and to exert some control over what will happen when you die. There are various reasons why you may want to have a will prepared. Retirement is an obvious example. If you are selling business and your financial circumstances are going to change. For some clients it may be getting married, getting divorced, inheriting money from somebody else, something which changes your financial circumstances. But above all, it's an exercise in control and having that conversation about what will happen in due course.
And once a client's got a will, what sort of circumstances should they think about having further conversations and seeking further advice as to whether they need to review their wills?
Well, a will should be reviewed periodically anyway. I would generally suggest to a client you should think about reviewing a will, say, every 5 years, because that's enough time for circumstances to have changed. You may find that the will is fine, but equally, if there are circumstances that do need to be addressed, it's a perfect opportunity to do it. But as I say, getting married, getting divorced, inheriting money, changing your financial circumstances, grandchildren arriving, a change in the tax legislation. These are all things that can affect the way in which your estate might pass, the amount of inheritance tax that might be payable when you die, and there is a conversation to be had there about how all of those things can be addressed.
And what about lasting powers of attorney? How do they fit into the picture for people who are approaching later life?
Yeah, lasting powers of attorney are again a very important document. A will is very much after you have died. Lasting powers of attorney are for use during your lifetime if you become physically or mentally incapacitated. Now, there is no guarantee that that will happen to anybody, but if the last few years have shown us anything, it's that these things do happen. And in the absence of a lasting power, nobody will have any authority to manage your affairs, either in relation to financial matters or in relation to medical and care issues. So again, it's an exercise in taking control and deciding who you want to be appointed to deal with those jobs.
And from conversations that I've had with other people across the firm, one of the things that's been a sort of a common thread is that every situation is unique and every family's needs are different. How does that impact upon the kind of work that you and your team do?
It's much the same, because as you say, we are all different. We all have our different hopes and fears, our different wishes and concerns, and those get reflected in every will that we draft for clients. Every family dynamic is different. Part of what we do involves talking to families, seeing what concerns they've got, what issues need to be addressed, and then we can focus on those in the will to make sure that the documents we prepare are right for the clients.
Lovely. So if anyone's got any questions or queries arising from what Simon and I have spoken about today, please do contact Simon or any of the other members of his team.